Well, I decided I wanted a box for those playing cards we'd made. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. And today we're going to fancy up this here Dollar Tree wooden box. Okay? I went to the Dollar Tree. Obviously. And I saw these boxes and I thought, hey, I bet those playing cards would fit in one of those. So I got out my handy dandy tape measure that I carry in my purse, because I carry a tape measure in my purse. It's not real big, but big enough. And I thought, yes, they're going to fit in here just fine. So I actually picked up two of them because, why get one when you can get two for the price of two? And they are inexpensive. So they've kind of got some splinters. Not horrible splinters, but being an old-timey woodworker that I used to be, I got out my sanding block and we sanded on it. And then I got out an emery board, a fingernail file, to get the smaller areas. And I thought, well, we're just going to paint this with this here navy blue, and it's kind of a wash. I've got my brushes pretty wet, and I've got my water sitting over there where you can't see it, and I dip into it every once in a while. And, it's kind of like more of a staining of it than a painting of it, if that makes any sense. And I was looking, and in my mind and my thoughts, my intention was to have kind of a worn, shabby-ish, grungy maybe, I don't know, looking box. Put our lovely grungiest mishmash of playing cards that we made whenever we made them. I'll try to link below and in the upper right hand corner, because sometimes I can, sometimes I just can't quite seem to get it done. So anywho, if you should happen to hear that panting sound, that would be Champ. He's hot and he's panting, and it's summertime. We are in the house in that nice air conditioning, but anyway. So we're just painting away, and I'm not being ultra careful. I'm just kind of, it looks good. And the little paint is coming off my paintbrush, off the handle, off the barrel of the paintbrush. So I'm getting little flaky bits from it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And this does have the little grooves on the side so that it almost looks like a fruit box from the olden days. I don't know if they still use them now or not. But anyway, and that's the bottom. It had a sticker on it, but I pulled it off, of course, because I didn't want the sticker on there. And we're just doing that. And, it wasn't very difficult, and I liked it just fine. And let it dry. I probably used the heat gun on it, to tell you the truth. And then went and ate a sandwich probably, I don't know. It was a few days ago, maybe even a week, I don't know. So I felt like it was dry enough, so I come back out, and once you sand the wood, and then you work on it, you paint it, you varnish it, you stain it, you whatever. And then you let it dry, and then you sand it again, because whenever it gets moisture on it, the wood kind of swells up, and little not splinters, but sort of splinters will kind of raise up the wood. And so you just knock them back down. And I have a hard time getting out of that old-timey woodworking habit. And I don't like sharp corners, and you got to be careful when you're testing those corners, because they might cut you or put a splinter in your finger, And it's just a little box. I don't know why I go into such trouble for it, but anyway. And I thought, I like it a lot. I think it's perfect. And I knew I was making a video, and I thought, well, that's not going to be a very long video. I mean, look, we're not even at 5 minutes yet. So I thought, well, I better do something else to it. So I got to digging around, and I thought, well, let's put a napkin on it. And I found this napkin. I think it was sent to me in Happy Mail. Pretty sure. At least that's the story I'm sticking with right now. So we're going to do an easy layer separation technique. You just take a bone folder or, your scissors or something on a flat, smooth surface, and you just kind of rub over the edge where it's embossed, because that's how they make the napkin layers stick together. They kind of like, it's kind of a crimp, and you just kind of rub it, and they just kind of separate really easily. I'm making it look harder than it is because it's not that hard. And when I pulled this one off, I thought, oh, I like this middle layer a lot too. And I thought, well, let's use that. And we're going to try to apply that inside the box. I like the box as it is, but like I said, I wanted a little more for the video. Okay? You don't have to continue on if you like it like it is. Just saying, APG, you could have stayed like it was. Anyway, so now we're going to collage this on, and I was going to trim it, and then I thought, well, no, that'll just fit. See, it just go right in there, just, you know, just hunky-dory. Hunky-dory, hunky-dory. Anyway, matte medium. Got a little plug in the end. Sometimes they get that way. Here we go. Now here it comes. That is fluid matte medium in a dish liquid bottle, because so handy. Clean them out well. Rinse them out well, because they're already clean because it's full of soap. Anyway. Means you got to do a lot of dishes to get them bottles. Just saying. Oh, I like a lot of my stuff in the bottles. I've got clear gesso, white gesso, and black gesso as well in these little dish liquid bottles, because they're nice. They close easily, they open easily, and you can fill them up easily. Hunky-dory even. So now we're going to try to put this inside. And I'm going to try to center-ish it. Center-ish it. Sort of ish. A lot of ish going on here, y'all. So just taking the bone folder, which is not a real bone, by the way. Tucking that down in there, kind of tamping it a little bit, you know. I want it smoothish. It doesn't have to be smooth, because, you know, it's napkin. It's not going to be smooth. It's like tissue paper. It's, you know, odds are it will not be smooth. Okay? If you get it that way, congratulations. You are a better artist than I. Better collager. There's no better. There's no competition. Anyway, you just do it different. Square that up. So we're putting on, you know, a fairly good coat. Remember, the wood does have the seal. You know, it's kind of sealed with the paint, the wash on there, but it's still very porous because it's not sealed with a sealer. Seal. Walrus. I am the walrus. Anywho. Sometimes I just use words. If only I could explain. But I can't, because I can't even keep those thoughts too clear in my head sometimes. Anyway, we're putting it on, and I have edited this down, and we use heat gun from time to time to dry it, which you'll probably get to see. And be careful when you're doing this, because the napkin will tear and smoosh around very easily. That's why you want to make sure you keep your brush pretty wet, and you want a medium type brush. Oh, heat gun, y'all. Not too stiff, and definitely not soft, because the soft, it just is not very good either. So that's nice and dry, and we're going to use an emery board, fingernail file, to cut the edge. Yeah, you could use scissors or a craft knife, but I'm using an emery board, and it's dry. It needs to be dry, and you sand in one direction, because that's what you're doing. You're sanding it in one direction. Please note the one direction, because when you go back and forth, that'll rough up that edge and tear it up. Just saying. One direction, not a band. Direction. So now we're going to do the outside, and we're going to use the dark, colorful, more colorful, most colorful part of the napkin. Now, remember, we've got grooves on the side. So I'm trying to make sure I got plenty of wet, matte, fluid, matte medium down in there. So we're doing that. And we're going to lay it on there. And it is not going to be straight. Okay? It's just not going to be straight. And again, I have little flaky bits coming off the paintbrush barrel itself. I guess I should put sealer on it to stop that from happening. Maybe. It's a Dollar Tree brush. I picked this up. Well, I picked up one. I've already wore it out. And they had them again, so I got some more. And the newer ones were not as good as the first one I got. Just saying. So, I know the newest ones they have are crap. Literally, the bristles will just fall out and you'll have nothing but a paintbrush full of loose bristles all in your stuff. Just saying. But the old ones were good. I liked them for the way I use paintbrushes. Anyway, I don't need paintbrushes, y'all. I got so many of them. I pick them up on clearance, and Hobby Lobby likes to put them on at their spring and sometimes wintry kind of clearance. You know, when they do that 75% off. Got to go down there almost every day to see what they're marking down. Hickin', y'all. And that's just basically to get it dry enough that I could turn it. And here we go. We're going to do this other side. I know I didn't necessarily have to show you everything. And the video is sped up. And I do believe I put a list of ingredients in the description below, even though you didn't necessarily need one. Because I don't think I put the brand name of the paint. It's just navy colored paint, because I looked at it and I thought, oh, that's perfect. I don't use navy near often enough. So we're just going to do that. We'll get out some more matte, fluid, matte medium. Fluid, not gel. Fluid. You can use gel if you want to, if that's what you want to do. I like the fluid. Fluid. So we're doing that. We're tamping easily with the bristles of the brush into that little crevice that's on there. Remember, it's got the little groove on it. We're being nice and gentle. Be genteel, y'all. Be gentle. And we're doing it. I know, I stretched this video out to almost 30 minutes. Hickin', y'all. So once it got dry, I've got the big piece there and I'm trimming it with the scissors because I want the ends to stay on there and not mess up. And at some point when you're not looking, I do go over that with the emery board in the one direction. And here we are on the ends. I'm going to kind of try, I'm going to do it sort of like when you wrap a gift, but not totally, just sort of. And I'm cutting to the corner. Using little dainty finger positions there, y'all. Sometimes I tell you what. All right. And getting this last little corner. And we're going to trim some of the ends off because I want it to wrap up around the side so that I don't end up with a bottom edge that's kind of raw. Not that it's raw, but kind of raw. Anyway. Crumbs. Gotta pick them up. Fluid matte medium. Deciding how I want to turn it best. Juicing it all up. Now we're folding up the bottom piece. Okay. Yep. Fluid matte medium. Getting it pretty juicy. Juice, goosey juice. I don't know what that is. Don't want to know what it is. It sounds gross. Anyway, folding that over. And yes, because it's going to be a little layered, it's going to have a slightly darker spot, but that's okay. I've also since thought that I thought, well, you know, I could sand on this and make it really distressed once it gets really good and dry. Okay, so that's kind of what I was thinking about. Because once I get this on there, well, I do a little show and flip through and ta-da hands. Ignore the first set of ta-da hands when you see them. Because I left them in here because I thought it'd be funny. It's funny for me, so I know it's funny for you. Anyway, juicing that goose up. Juicing that goose up. And wrap. I think I used the heat gun. I don't know if I showed you that part again. I don't know. It's been 5 minutes since I edited. Well, it's probably, actually, it looks like more like 20 minutes since I edited. So, anyway. Okay. Yep. You can stop anytime you're ready, APG. You don't have to just keep touching it. Oh, yes, I do. He can, y'all. Okay, so now we've got our little, because it's got like, you know, little hand hold spots there, finger holes, whatever. And it's nice and dry. And I'm just taking the scissors and poking a hole in there. And just kind of making some little snippets. And yeah, you could cut this out if you wanted to with your scissors or your craft knife, or not. I mean, whatever, you do what you want with your box. I'm going to get the emery board, the fingernail file, and we're going to go in the one direction, not to be confused with the band. Wasn't that a band? I don't know. There was a time in my life where I was working a lot of hours for a few years, so I kind of lost touch with music for a while there, y'all. Anyway, so just sanding that, and I felt like it was very important that I show that to you. Okay, now we're going to put on a coat of varnish. And it was after I put my coat of varnish on there, you know, I let it dry for a while. I don't know, went and half cooked dinner or something. I don't know what I did, y'all. Why are you asking me those questions? And it's a gloss varnish. Why did I choose gloss varnish? Because I don't typically necessarily use gloss varnish too often. I don't know. I just thought I would. It can still be distressed and sanded. It would still distress that, okay? And yeah, I did my ta-da hands. I do a little show, sorta, in the ta-da hands, and then I went in the house, and you know, for the day, the night. Came back out the next day, which you'll see. There's our little flip through, real quick like. See, here's all our little playing cards. See? Fake ta-da. Because there in the night, I thought, well, you know, on that cigar box, that rusty cigar box that we did for my husband for Father's Day, we put string in those grooves, and it looked way cool. And I thought I could put string in there. And then by the time I got up and went out to work the next day, I thought, I have some super skinny diamonds that I picked up at the Hobby Lobby clearance sale this past spring. I mean, they're like super skinny. Look at that. Look how tiny they are. And I thought, I bet they'll fit in that little groove. And you know what? Obviously they did, because obviously you're looking at it right now. And my head's bobbing back and forth. So I'm just using some art glitter glue, which I think I forgot to put on the list. And we're just putting that diamond stickers down in that little groove. And trimming them up where I need to, and we will do the other side, but I don't think you necessarily get to see the other side because I've already showed you a lot of the same thing. You're not going to see the whole side, y'all. That's it. So here's our real show in ta-da, okay? So just wait for it. I know it's a little crooked, but that's okay. It's fine. It's perfect. Exactly the way it's supposed to be. Here's our playing card again. Yep, there they are. That's them. I'm going to go right in there. Or artist trading cards, whatever. See? Uh-huh. See how nice that looks? Isn't that pretty? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, and I thought, well, no, let's just show you sideways. Ta-da! Ta-da! Ta-da-da-da! Photo montage! A very simple box made way more complicated because I really liked it as the plain navy blue, which would have been just fine, but I felt like I needed more for the video. You're welcome. Thanks for watching, and happy arting, y'all.